The sun was barely creeping over the horizon, casting a faint golden glow across the endless Nebraska fields when Ellie Harper heard the crack of a beer bottle shattering against her family's barn. She froze, her breath catching in her throat as the cruel laughter of 3 boys echoed through the crisp morning air. They were back again, Jake Thornton and his crew. The same bullies who'd been tormenting her and her little brother Tommy for months. But what those boys didn't know, what they couldn't possibly know, was that Ellie wasn't just some quiet farm girl. She was a trained Navy SEAL forged in the fires of the toughest military training on Earth. And today, their cruelty was about to awaken something they'd regret. Hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join our storytelling family. It's going to be one heck of a ride. Ellie stood on the porch of her family's weathered farmhouse, her calloused hands gripping the railing. At 26, she looked unassuming in her faded flannel shirt and worn jeans, her auburn hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. To the folks in the small town of Willow Creek, she was just the daughter of Tom and Mary Harper, back home after years away, helping keep the struggling farm afloat. But the truth was, Ellie had spent the last 6 years in the Navy, clawing her way through SEAL training. Only the 3rd woman ever to earn the Trident. She'd faced sandstorms in Iraq, night raids in Afghanistan, and missions so classified she still woke up sweating from the memories. Now she was back in Willow Creek, trying to rebuild a quiet life for herself and Tommy, her 12-year-old brother, who'd been struggling since their parents died in a car accident 2 years ago. But Jake Thornton and his goons were making that impossible. The trouble had started 6 months ago when Ellie and Tommy moved back to the farm. Jake, a hulking 19-year-old with a chip on his shoulder and a dad who owned half the county, had taken an instant dislike to Tommy. Maybe it was because Tommy was small for his age, with a quiet voice and a habit of carrying a sketchbook everywhere. Maybe it was because Jake sensed weakness in a kid who'd lost too much too soon. Whatever the reason, Jake and his 2 buddies, Kyle and Derek, had made it their mission to torment Tommy, tripping him in the school hallway, stealing his sketchbook, and once shoving him into a ditch on his walk home. Ellie had tried to handle it the civilian way, talking to the school, even confronting Jake's dad, who laughed it off and said, "Boys will be boys." But this morning, as Ellie watched the 3 of them toss another bottle at the barn, something inside her snapped. She stepped off the porch, her boots crunching on the gravel, and called out, "Hey, get off my property." Her voice was steady but laced with steel. Jake turned, his smirk widening as he sauntered toward her, Kyle and Derek flanking him like loyal